Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm delighted to present to you the ancient tale of the Sorcerer Apprentice from the renowned Oxford reading cycle. This timeless story has captivated readers of all ages, transcending generation with its valuable life lessons and magical elements. Join me as we embark on a journey into the world of magic, wisdom, and responsibility. So here, first of all, let me explain about the Sorcerer Apprentice. What is meant by the word sorcerer? Sorcerer means somebody who is believed to have magical powers. So, apprentice means somebody who works under the instruction of a skilled person in order to learn an art, craft, or trade. So, come to the paragraph. Many years ago, there was a village in a valley on a high mountain close by. There was a castle. The people of the village had never been to the castle, but they had heard that a sorcerer lived there. One autumn, when the crops were ready for harvest, the villagers woke to find all their fields empty. The crops had disappeared as if by magic. There were no vegetable fruits, berries or grains anywhere. The fields were bare. The farmers were puzzled. That means the paragraph describes that there was a village many years ago that is located in a valley with a castle situated on a near by a high mountain. The village had never visited the castle but had heard rumors of a soldier residing there. One autumn, when the crops were ripe for harvesting, the villagers discovered that all the fields were empty. The crops had vanished mysteriously as if through magic. There were no signs of vegetable, fruits, berries, or grains anywhere. The fields were left just barren. This turn of events puzzled the farmers. Overall, the paragraph sets the stage for a mysterious occurrence in the village where the crops explicably vanished, creating confusion and raising suspicion about the sorcerer in the castle. That winter was a hard time for all, as they have all just finished their all crops, just left a barren field. That's why that winter was a hard time for all the villagers. Somehow, the villagers lived on the food that had stored. In the spring, the farmers planted their crops. The plants grew well, and in the autumn, they were ready to be harvested. This time, the men stored guard over their crops. But one morning, they found all their crops were gone. Their fields were bare. It must be magic, cried the villagers. What shall we eat this winter? Asked the women, and the frightened and hungry children cried. James, a brave young boy, shouted, I will find out who has done this. Before anyone could stop him, he has stared off the steep mountain. This is the consequences of vanishing crops, and a brave young boy takes action. The story continues with the aftermath of the previous year's crop disappearance. The winter proves to be challenging for the villagers as they rely on the food they had stored. With the arrival of spring, the farmers diligently plant their crops, which grow well and become ready for harvest by autumn. This time, however, the men decide to stand guard over their fields to prevent any further loss. Despite their precautions, the villagers awaken one morning to discover that their crops have vanished once again, leaving the fields bare. The villagers attribute this occurrence to magic and express their concerns about the approaching winter, wondering how they will sustain themselves. In this moment of desperation, James, a brave young boy who steps forward and proclaims his determination to uncover the truth behind these events. Ignoring any opposition, he sets off on a courageous journey up the steep mountain. James walked till dusk. When he was near the castle, suddenly a tall man with a long beard appeared on the path. The man was wearing a long, sparkling, shiny coat and carrying a long stick. On his head was a tall, pointed cap. A large black ribbon was perched on his arm. James was frightened, but he thought, I must be brave. What will the people of my village think if I run home now? There is no food in my belly, said James to the tall man. I am tired and hungry. Will you give me some food if I work for you? The soldier looked carefully at James. Oh, work, eh? He said. I do need an apprentice follow me. The ribbon flew to James and perched on his shoulder. The soldier led James into the castle. They passed along dark corridors, and James saw some doors ajar. Some rooms were filled with treasures and others with fruits and vegetables. So here, the provided paragraph sets the stage for an intriguing and mysterious encounter between James and a peculiar sorcerer near a castle. The descriptive language effectively creates an atmosphere of curiosity and apprehensive, drawing the reader into the story. The appearance of the tall man with his sparkling coat, long beard, and a pointed cap, accompanied by a black ribbon, adds an element of enchantment and sets the sorcerer apart as a mystical figure. The internal conflict experienced by James, torn between fear and the desire to appear courageous before his bailiffs, adds depth to his character. It sets the stage for his decision to approach the sorcerer and ask for food in exchange for work, highlighting his resourcefulness and determination. The sorcerer responds further adds to the interview as he recognizes the potential in James and offers him an apprenticeship. This unexpected turn of events triggers the reader's curiosity about the sorcerer's intentions and the kind of magical world James might be entering. The mention of dark corridors and glimpses of rooms filled with treasures as well as fruits and vegetables hints at the enchanting and mysterious nature of the castle. It ignites the imagination and raises questions about the sorcerer's domain and the tasks James may undertake as his apprentice. There must be from our fields, gasped James. Yes, said the raven. This wicked sorcerer takes everything. If you can learn his secrets, you can save your people. You can also save me. I am a prisoner here. They came to a large hall. In the hall, there was a long table, and on it were bottles, jars, breakers, and tubes. A strange colored liquors bubbled and boiled in large pots on the stone floor. James' eyes opened wide. This must be where he works his magic, thought James. Over the next few days, James worked very hard. The sorcerer gave him no free time. He said, stir the mixtures in these large pots and make sure the biggest pot is full at all times. So James stirred and stirred and stirred. He carried buckets of water all day long and filled the big pot. This is James discovered the sorcerer's workshop. The paragraph effectively set the scene and established James' role within the sorcerer's workshop. It introduced the hall with its long table filled with bottles, jars, beakers, and tubes containing a strange colored liquid. The mention of bubbling and boiling pots on the stone floor adds an element of mystery and enchantment. James' reaction, with his eyes opening wide, conveys his fascination and curiosity about the magical work being done there. The paragraph then transitions smoothly into James' upcoming tasks and the sorcerer's demands. It highlights James' hard work and the lack of free time he is given. The introduction of a stir mixture in the pots and keep the largest pot full create a sense of importance and urgency to his responsibility. One day James tried to leave, but suddenly in front of him a wall appeared by magic. His way was just blocked. If he learned the sorcerer's magic spell, said James to himself, I can leave the castle. The sorcerer used many magic spells, but when James was near, the sorcerer spoke softly. James could never hear what he was saying. One day, James was so tired that he fell asleep behind some large pots in the hall. The sorcerer did not see him. A loud crash woke James. The sorcerer had dropped a jar on the floor. Then James heard him use a magic spell. James was surprised to see a broom fly through the air and sweep up the broken jar. The paragraph effectively introduced an important development in the story by depicting James' attempt to leave the castle and his discovery of the sorcerer's magic spell. The sudden appearance of a magical wall that blocks James' path creates a sense of mystery and intrigue, heightening the tension in the narrative. James' realization that learning the sorcerer's magic spells may be the key to leaving the castle shows his determination and resourcefulness. It sets up his motivation for seeking a way to acquire the sorcerer's secrets. The paragraph then established the sorcerer's use of magic spells, emphasizing their importance and the fact that James has been unable to hear what the sorcerer says when casting them. This built anticipation for James' upcoming encounter with the sorcerer's spell. The scene where James falls asleep behind the large pots and witnessed the sorcerer's use of a magic spell is well described. The loud crash and the subsequent sight of a broom flying through the air to sweep up the broken jar create a vivid and surprising moment, showcasing the sorcerer's magical abilities. The next day, when the sorcerer was out, James repeated the magic spell. The broom swept the whole hall. James was so pleased. James ordered the broom to fetch water for the pot, and the broom did that too, but the broom did not stop. It carried the buckets of water and swept the floor as it went. Soon the large pot was full, and there was water all over the floor. James did not know how to stop the broom. The water was now flowing out of the door and filling the castle. Then the sorcerer returned. He was so angry. He shouted some magic words. The broom stopped of fetching water. Beat him, screamed the sorcerer, and the broom began to beat James. But James now knew the magic word, so he told the broom to stop. As the sorcerer came near, James said, "Now I know your magic spell. I shall leave the castle." The sorcerer said the magic words and turned into a huge bear. The bear was going to attack James and he was frightened. Then James repeated the magic words and thought about the uncontrolled. This paragraph is about the uncontrolled broom and the sorcerer. The paragraph portrayed a series of events following James' decision to repeat the magic spell in the absence of the sorcerer. Initially pleased with the broom's efficient sweeping, James then instructs it to fetch water, which it does obediently. However, the broom doesn't stop and continues to carry water while simultaneously sweeping, causing the pot to overflow and water to flood the castle. James becomes desperate as he realizes he doesn't know how to halt the broom's action. The sorcerer returns and, upon seeing the chaos, becomes furious. He utters magic word to stop the broom, but then orders it to beat James. In a fortunate turn of events, James remembers the magic words and commands the broom to case its assault. As the sorcerer approaches, James boldly declares his newfound knowledge of the magic spell and announces his intention to leave the castle. In a final twist, the sorcerer transforms into a massive bear, leaving James frightened and facing imminent danger. Here is also then James repeated the magic words and thought about a snake. In a flash, James turned into a snake. Now he could attack the bear. He hissed and moved close. But when the snake came near, the bear turned into an eagle and swooped down on the snake. Then James turned himself into a cat and attacked the eagle. This battle went on, and all the while the raven sat on the top of a high window and watched. The cat chased the eagle and tore some of its feathers. The eagle flew over the window and away up into the mountains. James then turned himself back into a boy. "Quick," he said to the raven, "let us get out of here." And he ran down the mountain to his village, with the raven following. After that, James was able to use his magic to help the villagers. They never had any trouble from the sorcerer again. This paragraph is about James' magical transformation and triumph over the sorcerer. The paragraph depicts an engaging and imaginative story of James utilizing his magical abilities to overcome a sorcerer and protect his village. The narrative follows smoothly with a sequence of transformation and battles that create a sense of excitement and suspense. The use of animals such as snake, eagle, cat, and raven adds an element of fantasy of the story. The paragraph effectively captures the procession of events, showcasing James' resourcefulness and determination in the face of adversity. The introduction of magic words, the transformation into driven creatures, and the subsequent battle sequence provide a dynamic and action-packed narrative. However, certain details could benefit from further elaboration and description. For instance, the motivations behind James' initial desire to attack the bear and the sorcerer's involvement could be explored to enhance the story depth. Thank you for your attention, and may the enchantment of the Sorcerer Apprentice continue to captivate readers for generations to come.